Hey guys, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 10 books that I think I'm going to love in 2020 and give a 5-star rating to. I picked these all from my physical TBR shelf because I didn't want to pick books that I didn't already have because I got a lot of books for Christmas, so I'm definitely going to be working on my physical TBR first in 2020. So these are 10 books I pulled from that, and I think I'm going to love all of these. These are all different genres and things like that, so let's get straight into the video. Before I hop into these 10 books, I wanted to mention really quickly that I am a rep for Fable Bands, which is a small business located in my home state of Florida, and they make and sell scrunchies and headbands based on books, and I absolutely love everything that she makes, and they're all handmade, they're all really soft, and there's new themes that are released regularly, and I love everything that she makes. So I'm currently wearing my I Read YA themed scrunchie that I absolutely love, and I think they are all so great, and they really spice up an outfit, and I just absolutely love her products. So if you're interested, you can click the link to her shop down below in the description, and you can use my discount code NAT10 for 10% off your purchase, and you can use this code until the end of January. So let's get straight into the video. This video was definitely inspired by Kayla over at Books and Lala. I absolutely love her videos, so I will link her 5-star book predictions down below if you're interested in watching those. So in no particular order, let's get into these books. So the first book that I think could be a 5-star book for me in 2020 is Things in Jars by Jess Kidd. I've never read anything by Jess Kidd before, but I picked this as my January Book of the Month pick in my Book of the Month subscription box, and if you're interested in the service, I really love it. I'll link it in my description down below. But this one has to do with unladylike Victorian women who are also detectives, and there's a stolen mermaid involved, and this sounds exactly like my cup of tea. I've been wanting to read more historical fiction, fantasy things, and I think this one sounds absolutely wonderful. It has really great ratings on Goodreads, and I just absolutely love anything having to do with mermaids or unladylike Victorian women or anything like that. Like, I think this is just going to be a really great novel, and I have a strong feeling this is going to be a 5-star book for me, and I just absolutely love everything about it. There's like a mermaid, and there's like seaweed all over the cover, and this just looks like it's going to be something I'm gonna love. So the next book I think could be a 5-star book for me is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, and I actually picked this copy up at the thrift store, but I've heard so many good things about this book, and I absolutely love books that have to do with family relationships or that have LGBT rep, which this book has, and I've just heard so many good things about it, and based on my personal taste in contemporary, I think that I'm absolutely going to love this, and like I said, I've heard really good things about it, and I just can't wait to read it. The next prediction I have is Sadie by Courtney Summers, and I've heard so many great things about this. This is a YA mystery thriller type thing, and it has to do with a girl whose sister, I believe, goes missing, and there's like a podcast involved or something like that. And I think this just sounds really interesting. I haven't read a lot of like YA mystery thrillers, so I think this is going to be really interesting. I heard about this book actually from Kayla over at Books and Lala, and I've had it on my TBR since, and I found a really good deal on this on Book Outlet, so I decided to pick it up, and I think that I'm absolutely going to love this. I love hard-hitting contemporary, and I think this is really going to do it for me. The next book I really think I'm going to love is Scythe by Neil Shusterman, and this is the first book in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy, and this is a fantasy dystopian novel that has to do with a world where there is no war, no hunger, no misery, or anything like that, and there are people who act as scythes, and they basically deem who is worthy of being killed to dwindle the population, and I think the story follows 2 characters who are recruited as new scythes, and I think this sounds really interesting, and I've heard so many good things about this series, and I love dystopian and fantasy, and I think that I'm really going to love this. So yeah, I'm super excited to have my own copy. My boyfriend actually picked me this up for Christmas, and I really can't wait to dive into it. The next 5-star book prediction I have is actually pretty risky of me, and that's because it's a romance, and I am super picky with my romances. Like, they have to be a certain kind of way, otherwise I don't like them. And this one is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is an adult romance that so many people have been talking about on BookTube, and it's been so many people's favorite books of 2019, so I absolutely had to pick up a copy. I got this as my book of the month pick, I believe, in December, and I just really can't wait to read this. This has to do with the first son of the United States whose mother is president, and he falls in love with, I believe, the Prince of the UK or something like that. And so this is just a male new adult romance that I've heard so many good things about, and I really can't wait to read it. It seems like a lot of fun. So many people highly praise this, and I can't go wrong with an LGBT romance, so I really think I'm going to love this. So the next book I think I'm going to love is How to Make Friends with the Dark by Kathleen Glasgow, and I actually recently hauled this book. I got it at Book Outlet for a really good price, and this is the author of Girl in Pieces, which I read last year and I absolutely loved it, and this is her sophomore novel, and I think that I'm going to love it because it's a hard-hitting contemporary. And it's about a girl named Tiger who has a lot of mental health issues, and she also has a bad relationship with her mother. And like I mentioned before, I love hard-hitting contemporary, so I think I'm going to love this. And a lot of people say that Kathleen Glasgow's writing style improves even more in her second book, so I think I'm going to love this one even more, and I just can't wait to get into it. The cover is absolutely stunning, and I've heard so many great things about this, so yeah. The next 5-star prediction I have is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin, and this is a fantasy book that follows a witch who gets forced into a marriage with a witch hunter. And so this is an enemies to lovers historical fiction fantasy romance book that sounds exactly like my cup of tea, and I've heard really polarizing reviews about this actually, but usually I tend to like enemies to lovers romance, and I also love historical fiction and fantasy, so I feel like I'm absolutely going to love this. And anything that has to do with witches, like, I'm all about it. I love witchy books, so I feel like I'm really going to love this one. I haven't dove into it yet just because of how big it is. I believe this is over 500 pages, so I haven't got a chance to dive into this one yet, but I definitely want to because this just sounds exactly like my cup of tea. Like, I feel like I'm really going to love this one. The next 5-star book prediction I have is another contemporary book, and that is Watch Us Rise by Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen. And I actually heard this one also from Kayla over at Books and Lala, and she absolutely loved this book. And this one follows 2 girls who I believe are in charge of a newspaper at their school, and this is a very strongly feminist novel, and I really tend to love feminist themes and books, so I feel like I'm just going to love this one. This seems like it has great representation, great diversity, and I just can't wait to dive into this one. The cover is just absolutely stunning. I love the illustrated art, and I think that this is going to be a 5-star book for me. So the next book I think I'm going to love in 2020 is The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg, and this is a sci-fi / fantasy novel about this theme park called The Kingdom, where all of your wildest dreams and fantasies come true. You can ride dragons, you can ride unicorns, and basically all of your wildest dreams come true. And this follows, I believe our main character is like an animatronic in the park, but it's kind of like more advanced than now, obviously, and she gains feelings, which obviously isn't normal for like a robot animatronic. And it kind of follows her, I think, trying to escape the kingdom and kind of start her own life now that she has like emotions, like she's like awake. And I just think this sounds really interesting. I've heard really great things about it, and I tend to really like sci-fi things, so I think I'm really going to enjoy this, and I absolutely love the cover. It's so stunning, and I can't wait to read it. So the last book I think I'm going to love in 2020 is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and this is a classic. I actually just picked up this copy yesterday at Ollie's, which is kind of like a second-hand kind of / overstock store, and they have really inexpensive classics there for only a couple of dollars. So I think these will be really good for me to annotate and highlight in, and if I really enjoyed it, then I can buy a hardcover final physical copy. And I think that I'm absolutely going to love this because I read it in high school and I really enjoyed it, but I don't really remember too much about it. I was also in my high school's production of Little Women the musical in my freshman year, so I think that I'm really going to love this. This one is a classic, and I love how it has to do with like sisterhood and a strong bond and just everything like that, so I feel like I'm really going to love this one. So yeah. So those are 10 books that I think that I'm going to love and give a 5-star rating to in 2020. I'm definitely going to be making a follow-up video once I read all of these books, and I'll let you guys know what my thoughts were on all of them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss a single upload, and let me know some books that you haven't read yet but you're pretty sure you're going to love. Let's just have a bookish chat in the comments. And like I said, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!